September 26th, 2017. Welcome to the Philly podcast. Now, today, I'm going to start doing the topics of the video or podcast in the title from now on. As you can see from this one, it's Chargers Week, Doug, NFL, College Football, Top 25, Phillies, MLB. So that's pretty much all the stuff we're going to talk about today. Not exactly in order, but the things that I want to kind of bring up, during the podcast today. Here, let me just turn my TV up a little bit.
Steve, do you want to do a workout bet?
Nope. Poker. Yeah, it's lovely. All right, so it's officially Chargers Week. It's officially, I guess you could say it's, depends on who you ask. It's week 4 already in the NFL, which is astonishing because, it felt like yesterday we were preparing for the training camp to start. But the NFL season, the college football season just goes by so quick. It's unbelievable. Anyway, it's week 4. Eagles play the Chargers this week. And I'm optimistic. I mean, there's they do have weapons. I mean, obviously, LA Chargers, they have weapons. I mean, they have Melvin Gordon, a big fantasy name guy. Melvin Gordon, very good player. Keenan Allen, very good receiver. Tyrell Williams, I guess, is their number 2 guy. And then you got Phillip Rivers at the quarterback position, very good player. On defense, they have Joey Bosa, a very good pass rusher. I mean, everyone knows about the Chargers. Everyone knows about the playmakers on this Chargers team. Hold on a second.
It's absolutely free to play. I'm sure.
I think it would be great for us.
Isn't out yet. Taco Bell's fans chance to win.
All right.
I guess you should get to it.
So,
Taco Bell, you could be one of the first to win the Xbox One.
yeah, so we all know about the big playmakers for LA. But this is a team that's always had the Eagles number, especially Phillip Rivers, always had the Eagles number. I don't think we ever won a game against the Chargers. I may be wrong, but remember the last time was back in 2013. I think it was Chip Kelly's first game at the Link, if I'm not mistaken, and we lost that game. It was a 33-30 victory for the Chargers. So that was that. But we go out there this week to play them. They're going to LA to this week to play the Chargers in the soccer stadium, the T-Mobile, whatever the hell it is, the StubHub Center, whatever the hell it is. One of those. I think it's StubHub. I forget. But it's a stupid stadium. I don't even get why they just don't play in the Rose Bowl. I mean, I don't get that. I mean, why can't they just play in the Rose Bowl? It's just USC or UCLA. It's not far. And, obviously, I mean, they can't play in the Coliseum for obvious reasons because they already have 2 football teams there. And it's pandemonium if, USC has a home game and then the Rams have a home game after that. So, it's I get where they're coming from. But, playing a bigger stadium, playing in the Rose Bowl. Unless if, the friggin' UCLA wants to be assholes. But, that's what the Eagles are going to deal with. Not much. I don't think it's that much of a home field advantage, given the fact that the Chargers have lost 2 home games at that place. But, that's the Chargers, their record, they are not their record, as we know. I mean, they have a kicker that's missed 2 game-winning field goals for that team. They ran into Kansas City last week. We all, Kansas City's a good team. They're just crazy. But this is a game that I think the Eagles need for momentum. Because it is a non-conference game. You're playing an AFC team. I don't want to see him have 2 losses against the AFC. I mean, you're going to have to beat the AFC teams, obviously. Although you do play only like 4 AFC teams a year, 4 or 5. But still, you're going to have to get a win. I mean, you're going to have to get a win. So
That was awesome. That's some old footage. I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Hair looked good.
So if I had told, if I had told you in 2000,
shit, Chase is great. They have him on intentional talk right now. Anyway, this is a game that the Eagles, I love to see the Eagles win. A game that I love to see the Eagles win. Going to Arizona, back home to play Arizona. You're 3-1. That's a conference game. So the Eagles have 2 games against teams that they have historically really never been good against. I mean, the Cardinals, I remember us beating the Cardinals twice. Yeah, twice. Both at home. 2008 Thanksgiving game, and then 2013. Both games they were wearing black. But the last time the Eagles played the Cardinals, they were wearing black. Sunday Night Football, and we all know what happened. Maybe you guys saw ADP's video from that game. That was a brutal game. But anyway, that's another team I like to see the Eagles beat. So, and they lost to the Cowboys last night. So, hopefully, they'll be a little bit banged up for that game. But, this is a big stretch. This is a big stretch. You have three games against non-divisional opponents, 2 in-conference games, and then obviously after Arizona they have a short week going into play at Carolina on Thursday night. Then after that they have a extended week to prepare for the Washington Redskins, which they will play on the Monday night. So yeah, that's back-to-back Sundays where you'll find where NFL Red Zone's ratings will come from the Philly area. So, that's that. So this is a big game this week. The Eagles are gonna, hopefully what's the deal with Fletcher Cox? Fletcher Cox. Because you need Fletcher Cox and Jordan Hicks for this game. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, they have weapons. Yeah, he's day to day. Both players are day to day, but they have a little bit more in Cox. They're gonna, he it doesn't seem like he might. People don't think he's going to play this week. Rodney McLeod also in the secondary. He thinks he will play this week, so that's a big clear for the safety. That's good for the safety. And then you have the you all know Sproles is going to be out, which is absolutely terrible. And then Darby, which hopefully he'll be back in 2 weeks. I mean, who knows? But it has been 2 weeks since Darby, more than 2 weeks now since Darby got his injury. So hopefully by the Redskins, there could be a chance by the Redskins game or by the Panther game, maybe by the Panther game, that Darby will be back. I think hopefully, the Eagles are going to have to figure out ways to quiet the LA offense. Obviously, they're going to have to. I want to see. Hopefully, Hicks will come back, if not Cox, or vice versa. I like to at least have one of them back. Love to have both of them back, as many Eagle fans do. But I probably think that the both will be ready to play for the Cardinal game. Maybe not this week. So yeah, and plus, I'm very happy for this game that we have an established running game now, because you have a very good pass rusher, Joey Bosa, on that Chargers line. Very good pass rusher. Very good pass rusher. So, and the Giants, I mean, I was saying yesterday, I'm surprised about the Giants' run defense. I am very surprised about the Giants' run defense, because they were led on the run defense. That's how they beat teams. That's how they swept the Cowboys last year. And then this year, they can't even stop LeGarrette Blount. No, they can't even stop Corey Clement. Giants are having a lot of issues, and I really don't think they're going to win this week against Tampa Bay. We have live chat action. Chris Hawkinson, fellow listener. I guess that's corny, but whatever. Thoughts on sitting during the national anthem? Listen. I'm going to get on a soapbox, so grab your popcorn, grab your drinks. I'm going to go on a soapbox right now. I get that players have the right to protest. I get that people have the right to protest. I think it's very disrespectful to sit for the anthem or to kneel. Or even, I mean, in ways, I think it's very disrespectful to put your fist up. They do have the right to protest, but put this, in your, if I know my parents, they have jobs, and if they said anything about their political views at their job and they bash somebody, they probably get fired. It's not. I mean, these are employees here that are taking a knee for the national anthem because of their beliefs, because of. I mean, first of all, it's something that is not even true. Okay, when Colin Kaepernick started this over a year ago in the preseason of last year, he said he didn't want to stand for a country that oppresses African Americans. First of all, first of all, I don't think, I mean, there might have been an incident or two, but, I'm assuming it's reflected towards, I think it was reflected towards the cops and the whole Black Lives Matter movement. And it was just brutal. It wasn't even true. Imagine, you look at Michael Brown, okay? Look at Michael Brown. What would you do if a large man, Michael Brown wasn't a cookie, a large man coming at you, trying to grab your gun? What are you supposed to do? And I'm assuming he was bigger than the cop. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? I mean, to be honest, I'm tired of people bringing race into everything. I'm tired of it. I mean, and it's also the news, too. I mean, the news is terrible. I'm looking at, up next, right now, I'm looking at our live feed. Up next, Late Show with Stephen Colbert, who's obviously against Trump. He says Trump's NFL comments have everything to do with race. What the hell? Hey, I mean, the comments have nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with race. These players are making it having to do with race. what Trump said, it has nothing to do with race. You could be white, you could be black, it was just, it's just stupid. It's just, the whole thing's stupid. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these assholes sitting for the anthem. I'm tired of it. Kneeling. You're making millions of dollars. It's a disrespectful act towards the veterans, towards the people that keep you safe, the police officers. As much as you hate them, they like to keep you safe. They have to keep you safe. The firemen, the paramedics. It's a backlash. And with all due respect, the police officers and all the other emergency personnel, the national anthem pays homage to the veterans. It pays homage to the people that go overseas, risk their lives. That risk of their lives. And they're like, okay, we're going to sit for it. Or in the Steelers case and the Seahawks, I believe, we're not even going to come out for it. I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. But you know what? I'm glad. I'm glad that although Malcolm Jenkins does his little act with the fist, I'm glad all the Eagles were standing yesterday. I'm glad. Or on Sunday. I was glad they're at least standing. But don't take no knees. The people that are not making this country unified are these people that are protesting. So if you followed me what I said there, I know I could be a little vague and not make sense at sometimes, especially in those types of things. My apologies. So that's my little soapbox on that. So I'm absolutely tired of these assholes sitting for the anthem. Tired of it. Tired of it. You have a right to protest. You have a right to, you have a right to speak your mind. But don't do it when that song is played. Don't do it. Don't do it. Absolutely disrespectful. Listen. I think Malcolm Jenkins is the best one. I know he protests, but I think he's the best one. There's no Eagles bias here. But at least he stands, okay? At least he stands. I think his political views are anal probe. I think they're terrible. But at least he stands. Other than these other jitbags that like to sit down and, slide, put their little gloves on, get ready to play. It's just stupid. Flat out stupid. Makes me sick. Just stupid. Another NFL thing I wanted to bring up, aside from this whole anthem thing, and apparently this has something to do with Trump. During the Eagles game, we all saw, after his first touchdown, we all saw Beckham's little act on the after his little touchdown celebration, where he just pretty much pretends to piss as a dog. And it was directed towards Trump. So fuck, Odell's a piece of shit. And then John Mara, the son of Wellington Mara. I'm gonna get a little off this a little bit. Wellington Mara was nicknamed the Duke. He was a Giants owner. And so here you're gonna see my face, my lovely face. This is the NFL game ball. This is named after Wellington Mara. So, you see the Duke. This was named after Wellington Mara. And so, after he died, they did that. But anyway, John Mara, his son, Wellington Mara passed away like 2008. So John Mara took over, and then they all got Tish. He's not happy with Odell. He's very unhappy with Odell. And I was listening to some sports radio after, the podcast, after I did mine, after I did this yesterday. And they said that, Odell, McAdoo doesn't do anything. Coughlin didn't do anything. They have to start disciplining them. And they, brought a good example when the Giants had Jeremy Shockey as a tight end. This is way before my day. Okay, this is way before I started watching football. I mean, I think Shockey played, when I was like 5, but like he was a party animal like Odell, and they got rid of him, and the Giants started doing well. Well, I mean, obviously we're on in 2007, 2011, so they started winning football games. I think Odell can be. I mean, Odell's a very talented player. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, that guy's sick. I hate him though. I mean, I hate him because I hate him because he's a giant, but I hate him because he's a drama queen. I think he's gonna, and the Giants. And if you're on a football team and you have a player like that, it's a thing to have a chip on your shoulder. It's to be a brash guy, to be a loudmouth, but you can't keep getting 15-yard penalties. You can't. And there's a lot of Giants fans out there that want Odell gone and they want him traded because you could probably get some draft picks. You could probably get a first-round pick. Teams, and they also don't. I don't think they want to pay his salary. If he wants to keep acting like that, they will not want to pay his salary because he wants to be the highest-paid receiver in the league. I mean, and he's getting all these commercials. He has all these fanfare. A lot of people like him. But he has to fix his attitude, and I don't think. And the Giants haven't done anything with him. I mean, yes, they did get to a playoffs. They did get into the playoffs last year, but they didn't win the playoff game because Odell was partying pretty much. I mean, that was the number one thing. I mean, you look at the two passes on the Giants' first possession in that Packer game, a drop by Shepard and a drop by Beckham. You know why? Thoughts were in Miami. So, I mean, Beckham, well, we'll see what happens with him. I mean, yes, he did. Yes, he is a very good receiver. But will the Giants get rid of him? We'll see what happens. Will they discipline him? Will they fine him? But, they have to. I mean, like, if that were my team, I hope. I mean, if that was a player on my team, I'd discipline him on the spot. I'd run down from my box. I tell him, let's get you. You're gonna get in back. You're gonna get in the locker room. Pack up, and watch the game from the locker room. Don't do that. I mean, that's not our team. So yeah. So that's Beckham. And then I completely forgot to mention this yesterday in my Eagles recap. Now, Doug Peterson. Can I talk to you? Doug Peterson, I think, is a weakness to this team. We established, I think this guy doesn't know where he's going when he's preparing for a football game. You look at the first two games, the Eagles did not run, especially in the Chiefs game. They did not run the ball. LeGarrette Blount, he came out the other day. He came out and he performed very, very well. Like the LeGarrette Blount that I wanted to see going into the year. And he did. He had a very good game. Scored a touchdown, some yards. The Eagles, I mean, and it's not just LeGarrette. I mean, I also wanted to see a little bit more Sproles, but unfortunately, we all know what happened there. Tore the ACL. But even without Sproles, Smola did great and Clement did great. But what I'm trying to say, I mean, I don't get what he's doing. Why didn't he do that in the Chiefs game? You see how well it worked? And I know they're ranked 32nd now in rush defense, but the Giants' defense, with Damon Harrison and, all those guys, They had a great group of run stoppers last year. A great group, and that's what won them 11 football games last year, including 2 against Zeke Elliott and the Cowboys. So I don't get why he didn't think of that when he went to play Kansas City. It's just stupid. But that's not the point. Sometimes like many Eagle fans, I don't know what he's thinking at points sometimes. I really don't. I don't get what he's thinking. What are you doing? He gets caught up in the moment. He gets too greedy. The 4th and 8 is a perfect example. God forbid, if that were a team that had a quarterback that had, if that were a team that had a quarterback that was a little bit more mobile and could take a QB sneak, the Eagles would have gotten killed yesterday. The Eagles would have lost by 2 touchdowns. Why are you going for it on 4th and 8 at midfield? I don't get it. Like that. That's what I'm trying to lead to here. Like, why are you going for it on 4th and 8? Why? Why? Especially near midfield when it's a battle of field position. You give the Giants a shit ton to play. You give the Giants a shit ton of field to work with. A long field. You can place the ball inside the 10-yard line most times. And I understand. I mean, this is not that drive or, I mean, if this is in near the end of the first half, and with a quarterback like Manning who got sacked, and with a line like that, and I know he's throwing off quick passes, they could have probably got a safety. And if they shut them down, they could have punt. They could have punt inside their 10-yard line and kicked, and then put the Eagles in Giants territory. And if there's still time, you could probably, run a couple plays, get in field goal range, and have Elliott come on. Just stupid. I mean, he's just stupid. I mean, Peterson's play call. I mean, I think McAdoo's was probably the worst. I think when it comes to coaching, I think the Giants lost that game yesterday or on Sunday. But this is a component that the Eagles. What? Sorry. It's my mom. She was just telling me something. But that's a component that might be a problem for the Eagles going forward, especially especially if you have some runners on that team, on the opposing team. Especially if it's a team that can get, that can move. And it's a very potent offense. That's something that you won't risk against LA. Yeah, I will tell you that right now. That's something you will not risk against LA next week. So that's my little 2 cents on Doug. Then we move in the top 25. I heard the top 5 teams stay the same. Georgia moved up. I think that's it for the NFL, by the way. So we're just talking college football. Georgia moved up. Penn State, stays the same after that crazy win. And then my Notre Dame guys are 22 in the nation. Thank God. Thank God. And USC's number 5. So, USC plays Washington State on Friday night. That's a late game, 10:30. That's a good game. Washington State's number 16. USC's number 5. That's a good game. That's a good game to watch. But, I was talking to my guys in the group chat. And I was saying, listen, I think, there could be a chance that you might see. I don't think I was not saying there was a chance, but I was saying it would be cool to see Georgia play Penn State. I was just saying, You have two good running back, Nick Chubb against Saquon Barkley. I mean, I just think that would be a good game with Georgia's defense and everything. I was just thinking, that could be a good game. Probably won't happen. I mean, there's no way Georgia gets past. I mean, they'll probably win the SEC East, but there's no way they'll get by Alabama in that game, in that championship game. No way. No way. But Kelly Bryant, it was just a big game hangover for Clemson, but they ended up beating Moss College pretty good, and then Bama obviously beat Vanderbilt. So that's that. Penn State ran into a tough time against Iowa, Michigan. They escape on at Purdue in the second half. What else? Ohio State won. USC, they beat Cal. But yeah, they have. So I'm pretty cool with the top 25. I'm glad Notre Dame's ranked. So Kara, shut up! Oh, Christ! Oh God! Oh God! Oh God! Shit! My sister, she's a pain in the ass. So yeah, I'm pretty cool with the top 25. I like that Notre Dame's ranked. I think it's a little. I mean, I'm glad that my team's ranked 22nd in the nation, but like, they could be a little lower. I mean, I'm not bitching, but I was surprised that they got 22nd. I'm surprised. And then I'm gonna play Miami of Ohio this week, and then next week's North Carolina, and then the week after that it's a big game against USC and Darnold. I actually think Notre Dame might win that game. I think Notre Dame might upset them because given the fact that USC has been playing on the road, given the fact that they've had a couple slips here and there, I think Notre Dame might trip them up and upset them and on their home field. I think that might be like for Penn State last year. They had the Ohio State game. This year for Notre Dame, if they beat USC on their home field, that would be huge. Like that would be like the Ohio State game for Penn State last year. That would be like that. So yeah. Oh, Christ, they're talking outside my door. She has to away. Oh, Christ, it's a pain in the ass. House life, ladies and gentlemen, house life. All right, last topic of the day. Phillies MLB talk. The Yankees clinched yesterday. Or the Yankees, they've been in the playoffs for a couple of days, so you'll see them next week in the wild card. And I can't believe that this is the final week of the regular season. I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. I remember it was last February, late February, and I was sitting in here, and I listened to the Phillies. I listened to a Phillies Blue Jays spring training game on my radio. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It was a very good season, I think, in my opinion. Not for the Phillies. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a very good season for the Phillies, but it's it turned out to be a nice season. Because you learned that you have some pieces. You have Nick Williams, you have Rhys Hoskins, you have a lot of players to deal with. I want to see some. I want to see them. I haven't really quite pieced out of what I want to see them go out and pick up in free agency and make some trades or anything like that. But we'll see what happens. But I think it turned out to be a very good season. The Phillies learned a lot this year. They learned a lot. But I'm glad that they could piece out a puzzle before next year, like with pitching, with a starting defense, a starting lineup, and figure it out. And maybe they could be a playoff contender. Hopefully. That could be the case. But, I want to see Kingery make the wild. I want to see Kingery a lot next year. I mean, I was kind of disappointed when they weren't going to bring Kingery up, but, that's that. So, it is what it is. But, we entered the final week. They lost last night to Washington. So, it's a lot, whatever. I haven't really been watching the Phillies a lot, because football season has kind of started, but this week I'll finally stay in tune because it's the final week of the season. We'll take a look at the team, and then next week we do have the playoffs, which is very exciting. I love the MLB playoffs. Especially, I mean, it's not. I mean, last year was very fun watching it with the Cubs, and seeing the Cubs and the Indians. Maybe we might have a rematch. I don't really know how strong the Dodgers are going to be. I picked them to go to the World Series. I thought they were going to do it. Um, you look, you were looking in, August. They were a freaking hot team. They were a hot baseball team, and then I don't know what happened with them in the last month. But they ended up clinching, that, doing all that stuff. I don't know what I just did there, but anyway, but it could be. But we'll see what happens. You got the wild card games next week, and then you got the divisional series probably start next weekend. So you'll see a lot of the playoff. I love playoff baseball. I love playoff baseball. Just a fun time. It is just a fun time. So, so we move into the final week of the Phillies season as they end. They play Washington the week, and then this weekend they'll welcome back, and for the final time this year, the New York Mets, who they have a lot to learn about their whole thing. They have some players that they have called up, like we have. Dominic Smith, Rosario, some players like. So we'll see what the Mets do. But if we flash back a year ago, the Mets came in here and they clinched on our home field. So, and that was and that Sunday game was Howard's last game as a Philly. So I'm just flashing back a year ago. But it's much different circumstances this year because both teams suck. Both teams are, they have some. I think both teams are going to probably go up. But there's a lot of there's a lot of stuff going on. So in baseball, as we move towards the playoffs, towards October, and towards the end of a good baseball season, in my opinion. I think this was a good baseball season up until August. I think August really kind of made it a good season for us because the Phillies started winning. The second half of the baseball, the Phillies had a great second half. With Reese Hoskins, Nick Williams. It was just awesome to watch them play as the summer came to a close. And so all right, so that's it for today. Tomorrow depends on the homework amount of whether there'll be a podcast tomorrow, but definitely Thursday and Friday. Friday with the 2 NFL and college picks, and then we'll talk a lot more about the Eagles-Chargers game, the NFL, the Phillies, obviously, and some other stuff. So thanks for tuning in. Also, Flyers and Sixers, I think, are starting their preseasons. At some point, they're coming up very quick. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Because we are moving towards that October. I think, what is it? October 18th opener for the Sixers. I'm excited for them. I'm excited for the Flyers too, but the Sixers, they've been pretty hyped, and I want to see if they can deliver here. So so we are moving towards a hockey and a basketball season, a college basketball season. Plus, did you hear that these some of these college basketball teams are getting under FBI investigation, including Louisville? Like I heard something about it. I know they've done. I know they were banned from the tournament a couple years ago. Let's see. Investigation for a play-by-play scheme involving highly prized recruits. What, did they offer them like money? Conspire to pay $10,000. I'll see if I can talk about this more next time. If I don't forget, I'll probably talk about it more. But keep that. They just all right. So they're offering money to recruits or something. I don't think it's just Louisville. I think USC's involved. A couple other teams. I think UCLA. Did they say UCLA with Lon? I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA was on there because of the whole Lonzo Ball. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wait.
Chiefs, Monday, 8:15 Eastern on ESPN. On September 28th, the red, white, and blue.
All right. So the coaches at Arizona, this was this morning, Arizona and USC, and then two other coaches were arrested for corruption charges. Gotcha. They were got by the FBI. Oh shit. Trace the flow of money from certain apparel company to the high school coaches, student athletes, and their families, as well as payments that were accepted by these coaches from agents. This is on Fansided, by the way. Per LA Times, the FBI stated the probe has revealed numerous instances of bribes paid by athlete advisors, including financial advertisers and associate basketball coaches, to assistant and associate basketball coaches to exert influence over student athletes. So USC's Tony Bland, Arizona, Emmanuel Richards. Oh shit. Oh, Oklahoma State coach got arrested. Lamont Evans and Auburn's Chuck Pearson were also arrested. Shit. And Adidas is involved in this. Okay. I'm on a UCLA Fansided. UCLA Fansided page here. So yeah. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. Like I said, as I was about to wrap it up, but now I'm not. After I went on that little spiel, get that in. Nice 42 minutes, 43 minutes we got done today of talking sports, talking Philly sports, all this stuff. So Thursday's a definite, Friday's a definite. Not sure about tomorrow. It depends on the homework amount because I do have baseball practice. Like the life of a high schooler. So yeah. So thanks for tuning in. Go Birds. I know they don't play. Go Phils. Go Flyers. Go. I don't care. Whatever. All right. See you.